Oh, we're at 8:36. That was Janet Jackson and Someone to Call My Lover. 31 is our temperature on this your cloudy Tuesday morning, 23rd of February. And being a Tuesday morning, Mike Barrett checks in for our weekly edition of Good Policies with Barrett Insurance. Good morning, Mike.
Good morning, Jeff. How are you, sir?
Oh, not enough coffee in the world for us this morning. How you doing?
Oh, I'm on I think it's my third cup, so I'm feeling pretty darn good this morning. I'm going to it. But, it's school break, and due to this little thing called COVID, we don't really have anywhere for our son to go this week, so we opted to keep him home, which means, as a husband and wife ownership team of the agency, we get to rotate who's in the office and who's not. And today is Daddy's Day to be home with Ethan, so I'm working remotely today and playing some games with the kid as well. So kind of a cool day.
Was that him just hollering in the background, hey, I hear Daddy on the radio?
Yeah, it's funny, Jeff, because I don't think he has ever heard, and why would he? Why would my 7-year-old want to hear this? But I don't think he's ever heard me do this interview. So I put a little radio next to him because he was curious about it. He's like, what are you doing? And so he's in the other room listening right now, and I don't know if he's enjoying it or not, but hopefully he is.
Well, we know that he's learning insurance from Mom and Dad, but he's also going to get to hear it now. Hey, a while back we had a talk about non-renewal of insurance. Do I remember that correctly?
Yeah, non-renewals. What is that? Doesn't even sound fun, does it?
No, and I think that's why we should talk about it. And that's why we do this, so folks can understand the insurance industry.
Yep, you got it. And so what is a non-renewal? Well, it's when for any number of reasons something has occurred that will prevent your insurance policy from renewing at the next policy term. So let's say you bought insurance on February 23rd, whatever year, let's say 2010 for fun. And due to any number of circumstances, you got a notice, which would have been about 45 days ago from today, saying your policy will not be renewing at its next renewal date. So that means at 12:01 a.m. today, 2/23/2021 at 12:01 a.m., your coverage ended. Why did it end? Well, let's talk about some of the reasons as to why that can happen. One that's not very well known, and I want people to know about it. There's two types of non-renewals, one that could be bad and one that could be, not a big deal. And let's talk about the not a big deal one. The not a big deal one is one that we're seeing right now with a couple of companies. There's an insurance company called Aegis. We've written with them for many years. We write mobile homes with them. They have an excellent program. And for some reason, they decided that they're no longer going to be doing business in the state of Vermont for that line of business. So people are getting non-renewal notices, which is a scary notice to get because it's usually a certified letter, saying your policy will not renew at its next term. Not a big deal because you're getting non-renewed because the company is withdrawing that line of business in the state in which they operate. That happens for any number of reasons. We don't see it a lot, but it does happen. It's happened on all lines of business, from home, auto, all the way to commercial lines. We've seen it a few times with different commercial lines as well. So when you get that, as scary as that non-renewal notice is, not a big deal because we know about it. We're working to just quickly resolve that and write you with another carrier that is still doing business in Vermont. So that's the one. Not a big deal, right?
No, I don't think it's a big deal, but
No.
what I think our listeners, some may understand, that every state has its rules, laws, bylaws for insurance coverage, right? And that's why this particular example that you used with Aegis is they were just simply not going to be doing that anymore in Vermont. Not that they're not doing it anywhere else, right?
Right. They're still writing in other states. I know that for a fact. But for some reason in Vermont, they decided, it's just not something we want to continue doing for any number of reasons. Could have been financial, could have been regulatory, could have been anything. And you're right, Jeff. I mean, there is a federal guideline for insurance and how it has to be handled in the country. But then it's left to each state individually to have their own insurance laws. And as long as their insurance laws meet the minimum of the federal guidelines, they're fine. And then they can make and adjust things as necessary. So that's what makes insurance even that much more confusing for many people. But let's talk about the non-renewal that's not a good one. Let's say you had a couple of accidents. Let's say you've had a couple of claims. Let's say you had a dog bite somebody. Let's say that you have a house that needs attention and has maybe what the company might find to be some negligence or disrepair on the property. These are also things that can lead to a non-renewal, where a company can say, look, you've had a lot of claims in the past couple of years, and as a result, we just don't feel comfortable offering coverage to you anymore. So as such, you're going to be non-renewed on your auto insurance. Or, you had a DUI, or you had some kind of other instance where you had a very serious violation on your auto or on your license. Again, that doesn't fit our criteria. We will have to non-renew you. So that's not a good thing. And it's not to say you won't have options. You will. They won't be as competitively priced, but you will be able to find somebody to bridge that gap until you are able to be with other companies again. Same can happen with homeowners insurance and other types of things. Deferred maintenance is a big one. An insurance company gets called to your property for a claim. They're, adjusting the claim, and they notice that maybe your roof is crumbling, or that you have a new structure that is raised deck with no railings. They could say, hey, look, these are things that you have to address, or we'll have to non-renew you at your next policy renewal term, which that can be uncomfortable, and that can make it so some companies just don't want to write you, and you are limited in the offerings that were available to you.
If I could just jump in real quick here, Mike. You mentioned like DUI or, a whole bunch of accident claims. Those are the kind of things that will put somebody in what they call the SR22. Is that right? Self-responsibility?
Yeah. Yep. Financial responsibility. The SR22 is what many people know it as. If you have something serious like a DUI or a careless and negligent operation, or even something as horrible as vehicular manslaughter, these are things that are going to require you to carry a financial responsibility filing. Also, something as basic, and it kind of is opposite of what we're talking about with non-renewals, but even if you're driving and get pulled over for any number of reasons, and at the time of that instance you have no insurance, even something as basic as that, then you will have that financial responsibility filing where you have to prove to the state for a 3-year of uninterrupted insurance that you have maintained insurance and compliance.
Well, this is why we have the Chat Good Policies every week. Folks, with us on the line from Waterford, we have Mike Barrett for Barrett Insurance Agency. Mike, you might have prompted some folks to ask some questions. Tell them how to get in touch with you.
Sure. We're available via phone, 748-5224. While I'm working remotely today, I certainly have access to voicemail and email, and however my internet works and my cellular service works, I may have access to phones too. But our office is staffed, so you can give them a call and talk to anyone at the office as well. We are located at Portland Street in St. Johnsbury. Online for a free home and auto quote at BarrettAgency.com, Google, YouTube, and Facebook, all Barrett Insurance Agency.
And, of course, when we email these interviews off, you post them up on your Facebook page as well. Mike, be safe. Enjoy your time with Little Man today and get your work done, okay?
Absolutely. Thank you, sir. Be well.
All right. We'll chat with you again next week.
Okay.
All right. Good Policies, part of the Magic Morning Crew Tuesday mornings. Now music